What is up? Welcome to another episode of Driving with 20. I am your host, Reverend 20 Piece. Yeah, so anyway, I'm driving to St. Louis. I'm probably about an hour and a half out, passing through Rolla, Missouri right now. That's a little bit northeast of Fort Leonard Wood-ish. So yeah, heading through Rolla, heading up to St. Louis. Gonna take it easy tonight. Most likely hang out with some friends. Nothing too crazy. Going to a Cardinals game tomorrow. Cardinals-Yankees. So I'm looking forward to that. But had a couple things on my mind. Just wanted to put out there, for anyone who gives a shit. This isn't really a channel update, but there is one thing with the channel I wanted to mention, and that's Odyssey. I finally got off my ass and decided to back up my channel on Odyssey, and it actually took like a couple days for all the videos to transfer. And for whatever reason, not every video made it over there, but I would say 85% of the videos made it over, and which is cool. So Odyssey is, I'm backed up over there. I like the platform, and it's nice, up and coming, and there appears to be on the surface more freedom of speech and less censorship over there. So definitely check it out. This video will probably be the first test to see if new videos automatically update. I don't know if they do or not. I'm gonna find out. But yeah, so Odyssey, got that going. I am on BitChute also and Mgtow TV, although I don't have the channel synced up. So at some point I'll get all that unfucked and figured out. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, there's a little bit for the channel. And then one other thing I got going is, and this probably isn't going to be a super long ass Drive 120 episode, just because I don't have a whole lot to talk about. But the other thing that was on my mind though was kind of in relation to guys who are single, childless. I guess this could apply to women also, but in general, people who are childless. I've really been thinking about this a lot lately, but I've thought about it before. It's a topic, a subject in my mind that comes and goes, and I'm not always able to articulate it. Of course, that's nothing new. I'm not always able to articulate necessarily any topic all that well. But the thought I had, though, and I'm interested in what y'all have to say, and maybe in the future I might do a stream on this topic, is childless people in society, or people without children, and it's an interesting dynamic, I believe, because most people historically, at least, well, maybe not most people, but society tends to favor people who have children and who procreate and that type of thing. And I understand that. I get that, the human race moving on and all this stuff, but I think, especially in Western society, Japan also, that the population replacement, the level of population replacement has been in decline over the last few decades, and versus like Africa or India or something like that, the replacement level has leveled off and then declined in Western society and Japan. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is we have more people like myself who do not have children, and I have to keep reminding myself from time to time that I don't necessarily have to play by their rules, the society's rules, where the traditional thing where they'll try to handcuff you into something or get you in some situation where you're trapped into doing what your boss wants to do, or your, whatever you want to call it, your master, however you want to define that term, and that you're locked into something. One second. That you're kind of stuck in a situation that you may not like because either you have children, or you're married, or whatever, or you're in debt. That's another way to describe it too, where you may have debt and you're forced to stay in a job or do something or stay in a situation that you may not want to continue to be in. Whereas a person like me who has no debt, I'm not married, I've never been married, so I don't have child support, I don't play those type of games, and I've had a vasectomy, I'm not having any kids, I really don't have sex all that often anymore, and you know, it's actually a rare occurrence anymore for me. I'm not bragging about that, nor am I embarrassed about it either, but what I'm trying to say is, again, this is me, if I can get the words out. I was trying to let that fucking truck pass me up because I don't like doing video. People, I don't like putting on a show, if that makes sense. At least in this sense. Maybe in a different sense. Quick side note, I actually enjoy doing public speaking. I don't mind putting on a show like that, but I don't like putting on unintended shows, if that makes any kind of sense at all. But so back to the topic. But yeah, it's a subject that I really want to flesh out more, and I've mentioned it before where this channel isn't necessarily dedicated to single guys or single women or single people in general or childless single people, but I definitely think I fall more in that niche, and I'm still trying to figure things out when it comes to how people like me interact with society, you know, and I have to, a lot of times I'll find myself reminding myself that, you know, I'm in a different situation than most of these motherfuckers, you know. I would say at least 75% of the rest of society, and that's probably a low figure, and I would say it's probably 95% of women have children, and the men thing, that's debatable, you know, because you talk about this genetic shit, and you know, how many men actually really procreate and have their genetic, you know, offspring created, or genetic material, genetic lineage live on. You know, I'm not going to get into all that, but at least not right now. But yeah, it's just something to keep in mind, that I think for people like me in a similar situation, that again, I just quit my fucking job, so I'm trying to live by, practice what I preach, but if you're in a bad situation, I guess the whole point is, I could have just summed it up and say, like my motto is, life is too short to live unhappily, and it really is, you know, and I was thinking, what brought this thought up today was, I got into like a, kind of a, what do you call it, it'd be the equivalent of like a Twitter slap fight, but this was on a private messaging app, Telegram, with the unit that I'm still in, the reserve unit that I'm still in, and there was some back and forth and bickering going on over fucking evaluations that are overdue, and a really veiled threat went out that if these evaluations didn't get done, start to get done in a timely manner, or on time, or what, you know, however you want to define that, or they want to define that, the leadership, that, you know, it could affect your career, and it's not good luck getting promoted, and all this type of shit. And what I'm thinking is, and I didn't reply to this, but, and I'm going to wait till I see this individual in person, but I don't give a fuck about getting promoted, you know what I mean? And where this comes from too is like, I'm not in the guy who said this, I'm not in his fucking situation. I don't have 3 kids that aren't mine. I didn't marry a single mother. I don't, you know, have these responsibilities to finance these children, or my ex-wife or my wife. I'm really generalizing too. All of these things don't apply to this individual, but I'm just saying, there was another guy who was in the same position. He's gone now, but he had been divorced 3 fucking times. I'm sorry, I didn't make the same fucking mistakes you did, you know what I mean? So it's just like, these type of threats, man, they don't bug me, you know? And I've said this years ago, I don't give a fuck about getting promoted. I have 11 months to go, and I can retire if I want to. I can keep going if I want to also, but I just, granted, if you're not familiar with the reserve shit, I don't get my retirement right away, but I can basically just say, hang it up and go into the retired reserve. But it's, anyway, I don't know. That's where this is all coming from. And so now I'm kind of into a little bit of a venting type rant. But yeah, man, just keep that in mind if you're in a situation like I'm in, where yeah, I'm not a baller, fucking balling out rich or anything like that. But at the same time, I have a lot of freedom of movement, at least the way I see it through my lens and all that. And, you know, it's all good. Again, the guy that said this, he's way more successful than me as far as financially, but he also has a lot more responsibility and a lot more, what do you call it? Can't think of the right word. I mean, responsibility and commitments to things. So anyway, there's my little rant today. And I guess to recap and sum it up, the whole thing was, life is too short to live unhappily. If you are a person in my similar situation where you have no debts, you haven't been married, you don't have kids, you don't got to play by their rules. You can understand their rules that they want you to play by, and maybe play by their rules to benefit you in certain situations. But at some point, you can just say fuck them, you know, and move on with your life, which is kind of what I'm doing. So, and I am leaving the unit where all this recent fuckery is going on. It without going into great detail, things are getting better with this unit, but it's just I don't think the guy, a reserve unit can be turned around, a bad reserve unit. It takes time. It doesn't happen fucking overnight like that. I don't care who the fuck you got in charge of it. You have to change the culture. And I would, with other organizations I've worked with, any type of culture change, it just doesn't happen overnight, you know. So anyway, like I said, life is too short to live unhappily, and now I'm repeating myself, but get out there, live your best fucking life, and do great things. All right, that's all I got for now. Take care. 20 out.